Hello students, welcome to the lecture Lymphatic Filariasis. Filariasis refers to infection with filarial worms. It is transmitted to humans by the bite of infected vector mosquitoes. Based on pathogenicity and habitat, it classified into lymphatic filariasis, subcutaneous filariasis, serous cavity filariasis, zoonotic filariasis. So in this lecture we will see lymphatic filariasis. हत्ती रोग, हत्ती का रोग, पाँव में सूजन आता है बहुत बड़ा, और वो होता है वॉर्म की वजह से, कीड़े की वजह से. ओके, कीड़े बॉडी में आ गया और फिलेरियसिस, एलिफेंटियासिस हो गया, फिलेरियसिस हो गया. सो दिस इज द लेक्चर. Lymphatic filariasis, it is a public health problem in India. Lymphatic filariasis is a vector-borne parasitic disease. The disease is caused by thread-like parasitic filarial worm. Uchalaria bankruptcy about 95%, and remaining 5% are Brugia malayi and Brugia timori. In this map, heavily infected areas are UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Gujarat. See green spotted map. In world map, lymphatic filariasis is endemic in many tropical and subtropical countries like Africa, Asia, Western Pacific and parts of America. In south part of world. Now risk of infection is 1.4 billion people live in areas with risk of infection. Out of these, 120 million people are infected and need treatment. And people who need treatment, out of them 40 million people are with overt disease. Overt disease means lymphedema or scrotal hydrocele. Lymphedema in 50 million persons and scrotal hydrocele in 25 million persons, male persons. Marks drug administration MDA of DEC, diethyl carbamazine, was implemented in India since 2004. In 2007, the strategy of MDA changed to TCA plus albendazole. In 2012, the prevalence of microfilaria reduced to less than 1% in 192 out of 250 implementation units. The formal goal of global lymphatic filariasis program to eliminate the disease as a public health problem. And second one is 2020 is the informal target date for interrupting transmission. Epidemiology of lymphatic filariasis. There are at least 8 species of filarial parasites that are specific to man. They are Wuchereria bancrofti, Brugia malayi and Brugia timori. Other ones are Onchocerca volvulus, Lova, T. perstans, T. streptocerca and Monsenilla ozardi. Out of these, the first 3 cause lymphatic filariasis. Periodicity, both the Microfilaria MF of Wuchereria bancrofti and Brugia malayi occurring in India displays nocturnal periodicity, that is, appear in large number at night and retreat from bloodstream during the day. The maximum density is reported between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. in midnight. This is a biological adaptation to the nocturnal biting habits of the vector mosquitoes. Life cycle. Definitive host is man and intermediate host is a mosquito. The adult macrofilaria are found in the lymphatic system of man, where they may survive for 15 years or more. During their lifespan, after mating, female worm vivivorous give birth to 50,000 immature microfilaria per day into blood circulation via lymphatics. They may survive up to a year or more. Some of these microfilaria may be ingested by mosquito during their blood meal. Stages in the mosquito. Egg-sheathing. The larva comes out of the sheath in which it was enclosed. Occurs in the stomach of mosquito. Now, first stage larva L1. The larva penetrates the stomach all of mosquitoes and migrates thoracic muscles, where it develops into a short, thick form. Second stage larva L2. The larva molts and increases in length. Third stage larva, and it is infective L3. The larva molts and develops into long, thin palm which migrate into the proboscis of mosquito. The mosquito is said to be infected. This is life cycle. In human stages, in human mosquito stages, in human stages, clinical incubation period, and then in mosquito stages, extrinsic incubation period, and in between, pre-patent incubation period. Incubation period, the time interval from invasion of infective larvae to the development of clinical manifestations. Clinical incubation period, it is about 8 to 16 months. Reservoir of infection, although filarial infection occurs in animals, human filariasis is not usually zoonosis. In man, the source of infection is a person with circulating microfilaria in buffalo bird. In filarial disease, the late obstetric stages, microfilaria are not found in blood. The minimum level of microfilaria which will permit infection of mosquitoes is not known. Vectors of lymphatic filariasis: Culex mosquito and Mansonia mosquito. Culex principatius, vector for Branctopsian filariasis. Mansonia annuliferatus and Mansonia uniformis, these are vector for Burgian filariasis. Culex mosquito breeds in polluted water, and Mansonia is associated with certain aquatic plant such as Pistacia statius. Host factors: man is a natural host. Age: all ages are susceptible to infection. The infection rates rise with age up to 20 to 30 years and then level off. Gender: in most endemic areas, NF rate is higher in men. Migration led to the extension of filariasis into the non-endemic areas. Immunity: a resistance is developed only after years of exposure. Social factors: lymphatic filariasis is associated with poor sanitation, urbanization, migration of people. Okay. Environmental factors: climate, it influences breeding mosquitoes, their longevity, and the development of parasite in insect vector. Maximum prevalence of mosquito was seen in 22 to 38 degrees Celsius and relative humidity of 70%. Drainage: vectors breed profusely in polluted water. Town planning: inadequate sewage disposal and lack of town planning have aggravated the problems of filariasis in India. The common breeding places are open ditches, septic tanks, ill-maintained drains. Culex quintipaciatus breeding sites: dirty water in blocked drains, cesspit drains. Clinical manifestations: only a small proportion of infected individuals exhibit clinical signs. There are two types: lymphatic filariasis caused by the parasite in the lymphatic system. Occult filariasis due to immune hyperresponsiveness of the human host. Lymphatic filariasis, it has the following stages: asymptomatic microfilariaemia, does not show microfilaria or clinical manifestations of the disease. Asymptomatic microfilariaemia, asymptomatic but blood is positive for microfilaria. Stage of acute manifestations, occurs in first few months and years. Recurrent episodes of acute inflammation and lymph glands and vessels. Manifested as filarial fever, lymphadenitis, lymphedema, and epididymoarthritis in male. Occurs in 10 to 15 years of the onset of first acute attack. Causes permanent structural changes due to fibrosis and obstruction. Okay guys, permanent structural changes due to fibrosis and obstruction, it causes Hatti lake, elephantiasis. Main clinical features are hydrocele, elephantiasis, and chyluria. See, urine with lymphatic fluid. In Burgian filariasis, genitalia are rarely involved. See this, the picture of lymphatic filariasis: adenitis, hydrocele, lymphadenema 1, 2, lymphadenema 3, and elephantiasis. The lymphatic vessels led to acute lymphadenitis, filarial abscess, and elephantiasis, hydrocele, chyluria, and in lungs, tropical pulmonary eosinophilia and lymphadenopathy. Acute filariasis, the classical clinical manifestations are not present and microfilaria are not found in the blood, occurs due to hypersensitivity reaction to filarial antigens derived from microfilaria, and example is tropical pulmonary eosinophilia. Lymphedema management, the treatment for uncomplicated ADLE, acute dermatolymphangienoadenitis, give analgesic paracetamol 1 gram 3 to 4 times a day. Give oral antibiotic penicillin 1.5 gram in 3 divided doses for 8 days. In case of allergy to penicillin, then give erythromycin, oral erythromycin 1 gram 3 times a day. Clean the limb with antiseptic. Check for any wounds, cuts, abscesses, give antibiotic cream, and interdigital infection, give antifungal cream. Give advice on prevention of chronic lymphedema. Do not give an antifilarial medicine. Home management, elevation of lymph. Drink plenty of water, wrinkling the toes, washing the limb. Follow up to 2 days. So diagnosis is important before starting antifilarial medicines. Management of severe ADLA, refer patient to physician. He will give IV benzyl penicillin, penicillin G 3 gram 3 times a day until fever subsides. Then oral phenoxymethyl penicillin, penicillin V 750 milligram to 1 gram 3 times a day for 8 days. In case of allergy to penicillin, IV erythromycin 1 gram 3 times per day until fever subsides. Then oral erythromycin 1 gram 3 times a day. Give analgesic or antipyretic paracetamol. Do not give antifilarial medicine. Okay, wash your hands, check for wounds, and leg raising and exercise is very important. Also, care and use of mosquito net and big food care is very important. Hydrocele management, the individuals are referred for diagnosis and surgery done if necessary. Men have a good prognosis with early hydrocele, and corrective surgery can be undertaken even with local anesthetics. Quality pre and post operative care are important components that help make this surgery successful. For other genital damage, more complicated surgery is often required. Unfortunately, however, hydrocele surgery is often too expensive for those afflicted with LF. Filaria survey, it is done for routine survey or sure survey for evaluation. The NICD, National Institute of Congenital Diseases, standard is to examine 5 to 7% of the population for routine surveys and 20% for evaluation studies. It consists of mass blood survey, clinical survey, serological test, genodiagnosis, and entomological survey. Mass blood survey, it depends upon the demonstration of living parasites in the human body. 9 blood surveys are done. Thin film, most commonly used method, 20 cubic millimeter of blood is collected by dip finger prick between 8:30 p.m. and 12 midnight. The blood films are dehemoglobinized, stained, dried, and examined for microfilaria under low power. Membrane filter concentration is most sensitive method for detecting low density microfilaria media. DSP provocation test. Microfilaria can be induced to appear in the blood in the daytime by administering diethylcarbamazepine 100 mg orally. Microfilaria begin to reach their blood within 15 minutes and begin to decrease 2 hours later. Clinical survey, people are examined for clinical manifestations of filariasis. Serological test to detect antibodies to microfilaria and others using immunofluorescent and complement fixing techniques, but cannot distinguish between past and present infection and heavy and light parasitic load. Genodiagnosis, mosquitoes are allowed to feed on the patient and then dissected 2 weeks later. Entomological survey, it consists of general mosquito collection from houses, dissection of female vector species for detection of developmental forms of the parasite, study of the extent and type of breeding places, assessment of filarial control program. It can be assessed using clinical parameters, parasitological parameters, entomological parameters. Clinical parameters: incidence of acute manifestations and prevalence of chronic manifestations are measured. Parasitical parameters: microfilaria rate, it is the percentage of people showing microfilaria in their peripheral blood in the sample population. Filariasis endemicity rate, it is the percentage of people examined showing microfilaria in their blood or disease manifestation or both. Microfilaria density, it is the number of microfilaria per unit volume of blood in samples from individual people. It indicates the intensity of infection. Average infestation rate, it is the average number of microfilaria per positive slide. It indicates the prevalence of microfilariaemia in the population. Entomological parameters, that is in mosquito, what we have to see: vector density per 10 man-hour catch, percentage of mosquitoes positive for all stages of development, percentage of mosquitoes positive for infective larva, annual biting rate, types of larval breeding places. Now control measures. Previously, even after full regimen of diethylcarbamazine DC, some improper microfilaria still persisted in the body, so it was difficult to prevent the spread of filariasis. So it is supplemented by an effective vector control program. The current strategy is based on chemotherapy vector control. So short form will come as the current strategy of current control strategy for lymphatic filariasis. So we have to write chemotherapy and vector control. Chemotherapy: diethylcarbamazine to filarial control in the community, and then ivermectin. Filarial control in community is of mass therapy, selective treatment, and diethylcarbamazine medicated salt. Now we will see diethylcarbamazine. In Branchiopsian filariasis, 6 mg per kg body weight per day orally for 12 days. In Burgian filariasis, 3 to 6 mg per kilogram body weight per day orally for 12 days. Given in divided doses after meals, rapidly absorbed, reaches peak blood level 1 to 2 hours, rapidly excreted. This is effective in killing microfilaria. Adverse effects due to the drug itself: headache, nausea, vomiting, etc. They are seen few hours after the first dose, but do not last for more than 3 days. Allergic reactions due to the destruction of microfilaria and adult warm fever, local inflammations around dead wasps, orchitis, lymphadenitis, and hydrocele. They occur later and last longer. If these drugs are given in spaced doses, the adverse reactions are much less frequent and less intense. Filaria control in the community. So this is by 3 ways: by mass therapy, selective treatment, and then diethylcarbamazine medicated salt. In mass therapy, diethylcarbamazine is given to everyone in the community, irrespective of whether they have microfilariaemia, disease manifestation, or no sign of infection, except children under 2 years, pregnant women, and seriously ill patients. Diethylcarbamazine 6 mg per kilogram body weight is the dose and indicated in highly endemic area. Selective treatment: diethylcarbamazine given only to those who are microfilaria positive, more suitably in low endemicity area. Dose 6 mg diethylcarbamazine per kg body weight daily for 12 days. In endemic areas, it should be depleted every 2 years. Diethylcarbamazine medicated salt. Common salt is medicated with 1 to 4 gram of diethylcarbamazine per kilogram. Ivermectin, it is a semisynthetic macrolide antibiotic with broad spectrum activity against nematodes and ectoparasites. It is not used in India, used in Africa. In normal people, there is no drug toxicity, but in microfilaria patients, there may be reactions due to inflammatory response due to dying microfilaria. Now vector control. In lymphatic filariasis, vector control is beneficial when used in conjunction with mass treatment. The most important step is to reduce the target mosquito population to stop or reduce the transmission. It consists of anti-larval measures, anti-adult measures, and personal prophylaxis. Anti-larval measures, it consists of chemical control, mosquito larvicidal oil, and this oil is active against all pre-adult stages, used to control colics, and very expensive than others. Second one is pyroxene oil E. It is a pyrethrum based anti-emulsifiable larvicide. Then OP, organophosphorus larvicides, widely used but resistance develop against MNE. For example, Temifos and phenthioin. Removal of Pisticea plant to control breeding of Ansonia mosquitoes, done by either converting the pond to fish or lotus culture or using herbicides such as cell killer D. Minor environmental measures, it includes drainage of stagnant water and adequate maintenance of septic tank. Anti-adult measure. Previously DDT is used, but it has been discontinued. Pyrethrum is now used as space spray. Personal prophylaxis. Avoidance of mosquito bites by using mosquito nets, screening and repellents. Integrated vector control. None of the vector control applied alone is likely to bring about filariasis control. It has to be integrated approach. Development of annual drug treatment, intense personal hygiene, and diethyl carbamazine medicated salt. Development of insecticide sprays. Now, National Filariasis Control Program. It is operational since 1955. In June 1978, it was merged with malaria scheme. Filaria control strategy includes vector control through antilarval populations, source reduction, detection and treatment of microfilaria carriers, morbidity management. The strategy is through annual mass drug administration (MDA), home-based management of lymphedema, and upscaling of hydrocele operations. To achieve elimination in 2004, the government of India launched annual MDA with single dose of diethyl carbamazine along with home-based food care and hydrocele operation. The co-administration of diethyl carbamazine plus albendazole was introduced in 2007. Thank you. So, guys, we finished lymphatic filariasis lecture. Now I will give you assignment, short note as current control strategies for lymphatic filariasis, and second short note is elimination of lymphatic filariasis in India, and 5 MCQs I have prepared. I will put it as assignment in separately. Okay, thank you. Hope you guys got the lecture lymphatic filariasis.